A short update on the energies, March 7, 2015. Once more the anticipation will seem to be rising alongside with the incoming flux of energetic missives coming your way, and rightly so. For once more you stand on the cusp of a momentous occasion, one where you will all feel elevated in the very best sense of the word as these projections of light continue to enlighten the very rock upon which you stand. And yes, we do mean that in a very literal sense beside the more esoteric one, for in this, no one nor no thing will go untouched. For once again, you will all be painted with that same brush, the one that delves out broad strokes of shimmering light that again will serve to unfasten quite a few of the old skeptics along the way. You see, there are still those clinging steadfastly to the old ideas within, and so, for every new stroke of light that comes along, they can choose to take it as a stroke of luck, or for what it truly is, a statement of the fact that you have already entered the new in every way. And what is it that we are once again trying to convey with this rather flowery choice of words? Simply the fact that from now on, so much will fall into place in such perfect syncopations of synchronicity, you would be hard-pressed not to find a grand idea behind it all. In other words, the rollout of the next stage of this journey has finally begun, and with it comes a whole host of ideas, actions and occurrences that will begin to manifest on all sides, both within and without. For now, you are no longer at that stage where you ever so painstakingly will be processing whatever it was that had been stuck with you for eons, nor will you be called to stand back to allow the foundation stones to fall into their assigned place. For now, perfect alignment has already occurred on so many levels, and as such, you can look upon this next phase as the inauguration of the new. For you have finally entered that stage where you will be called upon to take center stage in every sense of the word, and where you will be asked to show off your skills in front of a wider audience. For now, it will be time for you all to enter the mainstream of life again, in a way that will differ not only from the way you used to experience it before, but which will also differ from the position you used to hold. For now, it will no longer be about holding space for others while slogging through layer after layer of dense mud that cling to your feet and drag you down. No, now you will be floating freely on those currents of fresh air that are already circulating freely in this world. And as we have already told you, no matter where you go now, you will find yourself buoyed and supported by that reservoir of light that you have all been so helpful in amassing in this virtual space. For you have created your own reality, one where nothing of the old can penetrate through those shimmering walls of light that will protect you from now on. And so, wherever you go, you can breathe freely knowing that whatever foul substance those around you may still choose to drag into their bodies, minds and souls, it cannot pollute you. For you have elevated your entire being out of that old miasma, and as such you can now travel freely wherever it is you want to go. For as usual, your heart will show you the way, and you will know which way to turn no matter how complex a crossroads you might arrive at any given time. For remember, your task is to lead by example, not by jumping ship to land yourself back in that old drainage of dismal light, that used to be your old abode. For you are not here to drag others out of that old and dense soup of self-loathing, despair and despondence. No, you are here to elevate all, by allowing your wings to lift you ever higher. Not to look down upon others, but to help them to lift their eyes and their hearts from that downcast outlook on life they have had up until now. And how will you do this? Well, the answer to this is as variegated as you are, for you are all uniquely outfitted with your own inherent traits, traits that will allow you to shine like no other, the moment you allow that inner trait to come to the fore in your own life. And remember, we are not talking about turning into a miracle worker from one day to the next, where you will be expected to literally walk on water for all to see, for then to fall at your feet in admiration. No, that is not what this is about. This is about living your life in full, through everyday actions, ideas and occurrences that on the outside may not look like much, but which will have a magnificent effect once the ripples from your freedom of movement start to register on those around you. And never forget, you are so much more than what you appears to the casual onlooker, for not only do you carry the light of an enlightened human, you also carry the light from all of creation within you, and now, you have made that connection so true that it will stand out for all to see. Once again we speak in convoluted terms, but what we are trying to convey to you, is that you are already changing this world with every step you make and with every breath you take, and if you think this sounds like an unimpressive way to make this huge turnaround come about, we can only say think again. For know that what you see when you go out into your daily life is merely the effect this will have on others at a very superficial level. What you do not see, but will be able to get a better idea of if you truly connect deeply to those already teeming layers of energetic connections that have been set into motion by your willingness for them to be so, will be an entirely different picture indeed. Indeed, it will be an entirely different world altogether. For then, you will know what it is we are referring to when we say just how freely you will float through the ethers, for then, you will know that your presence on this planet carries so much more energetic weight than what it may seem like if you only judge this from the presence of your human container. For the presence of you in this world is also a testament to the presence of God in this world, in the form of living, breathing human beings walking around carrying with them for the very first time the live spark of God in everything they do and everywhere they go. And as such, your actions could not be more impressive, for your actions carry an importance that far outweighs the seemingly mundane tasks you will be carrying out. For all the while you are in fact sending out that light from your own God spark so that it in turn can ignite the ones that have been lying dormant in all of your fellow men for such a long time. So once again we say go out into this world with your head held high, and go out into this world carrying with you the knowledge that you act as a torchbearer for all. One that will lift the spirits of those around you by allowing yourself to fly ever higher, by allowing yourself to do the things that literally make your heart sing. For you will be like the birds in spring, soaring high in the sky, singing jubilantly to signal that now, the winter of discontent is over, the light has returned, and it is time for all to truly start to live again, after lifetimes of merely existing. Painting by Eshia North. This painting that I did a couple of days before last Sunday's gathering has been coming up for me several times the last 24 hours. So when I got today's message I knew I had to include it here. A short update on the gathering, March 3, 2015. By now, you will all have begun to settle a little bit more into these new tracks that you laid down during that ever so impressive get-together that you staged just a few days ago, and even if the first stages of this new part of your journey may seem to be somewhat shaky for some of you, you will all find yourself steadying into this new rhythm, or rather, vibration. For as you came together and pooled your formidable resources of individual frequencies into this already deep reservoir of light that has been collected here in this space, you also set off some very new frequencies, frequencies that were engendered in the meeting points of your own individual tunes. In other words, your singular currents created some very distinct patterns wherever they intersected with those of the others connected to this pond, through their own individual vibrating string of light, and through this process, a vast new tapestry of light was co-created by you all. Once again, this will sound as if old news to many of you, but what you might not be aware of, is that this time, you not only created a very new tapestry of light, you also in effect disconnected the old one. And so, you have left your old training wheels behind, and now, what you stand upon, is ground that you have literally created from scratch yourselves. For by now, nothing of the old systems will be here for you to fall back upon, and the reason we choose this phrase, is to say that now, you do not have the option to fall back into the old in any way. And the very reason for that is simply this: it is because you have chosen it thus. You see, you have all given yourselves the permission to graduate fully from the old, and through this last endeavor, you sent out a signal not just to yourself but to all, that now, you are ready to finally stand tall and proud in an energy of your own making. And now, you need no longer rely on the supporting structures that were created during the initial stages of this process, for you have all found the sufficient presence of mind to stop looking about you for something to lean on. For now, you know that what you carry within is more than enough to carry you wherever you go, and from this day forward, you will begin to truly embrace the truth in these words. This does not mean that from this day onwards, you will stand alone, far from it. For what this means, is that from this day onwards, you as a collective will be an even more impressive co-creative unit. For now, what you feed each other will be a very different kind of energy from what it was before. Earlier, you all needed to literally lean on each other for some extra support at one stage or the other during the journey, and this task of support was one that was taken to heart by so many of you. And so, what you have managed to create, is a one-of-a-kind group of self-supported souls, all powerful enough to stand shoulder to shoulder with each other in the next stage of this ongoing process of making the rest of mankind as sovereign as you have managed to recreate yourself as. You see, you all needed the others in order for you to find the real you, but now, you will all rely on yourselves to further this process outwards. For now, so much of the energy that ran between you earlier will be sent out into the ethers, outwards to help even more souls begin this process of empowering themselves, just as you have all done by coming together to assist each other through this process of rebirthing your own inherent powers. And no, this does not mean that you will all go back to square one again to relive this process again and again through the lives of those around you. For we do not refer to a process where you will be feeding the rest of this planet from your deep reservoir of light, and thereby emptying out your own resources. No, what we refer to is an entirely different process, where you will find yourself drawn outwards in the respect of beginning to utilize your own inherent powers in such a way, they will not just sustain you, they will also ignite the motors within others so that they in turn can begin to draw on their own reservoir instead of feeding off of that of others. You see, as this new age dawns, you will all at one stage find yourselves opening up to something that has been waiting for just this moment to arrive, and what we refer to, is an inner ability that you have that now will be put to good use in the world that still surrounds you. Again, we speak in convoluted terms, but let us just say that from now on, you will all find that no matter where you go, you literally carry the connection to this pond of energy with you. And like an extra tank of oxygen, this huge reservoir of light that you have all been so instrumental in collecting will enable you to literally dive out into the still dense soup that surrounds you to do the things that resonate with your energy, even in such an environment as the remnants of the old world has to offer. For you will be able to take what has become apparent to you and bring it out into the world in a manner that will give you all reasons to rejoice in more ways than one. First of all, because your actions will be guided by your heart, so you will know exactly what your role is to be, and secondly because you will find that your enlightened actions will set alight the center of the hearts in those people that will be drawn to your light in the first place. Remember, what we are referring to is not for you to become a group of proselytizing zealots delivering your message to all and sundry, for you are not going to go out into the world to save anyone. That is not the case here at all. No, what you are to do, is simply to be, the you that you have now become, and to do, the things that literally make your entire being sing from joy when you do them, and then, it will be like setting off a shower of sparks in anyone you may come across. For you are here to lead by example, and now, you have clearly shown to yourself and to the rest of creation that you have finally become you, by allowing that inner light to come fully alive. And so, it is your task to be that light, not to run around telling everyone around you how to be theirs. So go out into this world with your head held high, and go out with the knowledge that now, you stand firmly on your own 2 feet, within your own exceptional light, fully anchored to a living grid of interconnected pathways of light that you have been instrumental in setting up. And now, you need not rely on others to breathe freely, but thanks to the very fact that you have all allowed yourselves to become a part of a collective of enlightened souls again by casting aside the old notion of your own unimportance, you have all become complete, and so too this very new grid of life-sustaining pathways of light. So once again we thank you all on behalf of all of creation. You are magnificent indeed, and now, we venture to guess you are far more inclined to agree to this very fact than you were only a few days ago. And for that, we could not be more pleased, both on your behalf and for the rest of creation. For it is in this capacity as complete and sovereign beings that you can help others around you to attain that same stature, and only through that. For you have shown it to yourself that it is indeed possible, and now, that is all that anyone else need to see. And if they allow their own heart to see this, they will surely follow in your footsteps into their own way of being themselves fully, for the very first time in their capacity as a human being. And then, this transformation will indeed be complete, not just for you, but for all.